How's it going, YouTube? We are back, and this time I'm going to be doing something new. I'm going to be doing a recap of how my fantasy team does this year. Feel free to leave a comment how you guys did on your fantasy leagues if you are playing fantasy football. I'm going to start with my non-PPR team. Really underwhelming performance here. I fell way short of what my projection was. And Drew Brees only dropping 14 points against the Bucs was not something I was expecting. I totaled 93.5 on this league, and it was 93.5 of just underwhelmingness. 14 from Drew Brees. I was looking for more like 19 or 20, possibly even 24, considering how bad the Bucs secondary was last year. Kenyon Drake at 12. That's probably around where I was expecting for him to get around, or against San Francisco's defense. They're tough. He averaged like 3.7 yards a carry, which is not very good. Corey Clement, the only reason why Corey Clement was in was because Miles Sanders was hurt, and I was hoping he'd be able to get some time against that Washington defense that was lackluster last season. He only managed to give me 2 points, and I would have been better off going with someone off my bench or just sticking with what I was planning, which was start Tarik Cohen and just take my 4 points or whatever it was that he got. DJ Moore against the Raiders, only 5 points. That Raiders secondary was atrocious last season, but Trayvon Mullen is emerging into a corner that is become decently reliable. Robbie Anderson had a really good day, a 75-yard touchdown where he burned first-rounder Damon Arnett on a double move, but sometimes it's just like that. The number 2 gets the big touchdown, while the number 1 kind of suffers. Tyler Lockett, 9 points against Atlanta, which is not bad. Just above what he was projected. I believe he projected 8 points. No touchdowns. Metcalf got the deep threat touchdown right there. I'm satisfied with what he did. Mark Andrews blew up for me, and I gotta say, my strategy this season was to go in and draft a tight end in the 3rd round, no matter who was available, whether it was Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews, or Ertz. I took Andrews. He gave me 2 touchdowns and 50 yards, and if he gives me that every week, I'm going to be in good shape. Marvin Jones Jr., 5 points against a tough Bears defense. I wish I would have went with someone else on the bench. I had a couple of guys on the bench. As you can see, 90 bench points. I left a lot of meat on the bone down there, and it's unfortunate, but that's what we got to do. 5 points from Jones, 3 points from Boyd. Not a lot of help in the flex spot. It's just embarrassing right there. Buda Baker, 12.5 points. And I got to say, out of all the people that I am the most proud of, Buda Baker is up there. 12.5. Definitely MVP for the week for this team was Mark Andrews at 17 points, but Buda Baker, 12.5 from a defensive player is really, really solid. I'll take that all day long. The Eagles defense, which underwhelmed so heavy against a Washington team, which looks like it's still developing on offense, but looked really good. And then my kicker, Young Ho Koo, with a solid 9 points from a kicker. I'll take that all day long. Missed an extra point when it could have put him in the double-digit mark, but what are you going to do about it? On the bench, 90 points. So significant players that were on the bench. Matt Ryan dropped 24 points, which would have been enough to get me into the hundreds. Darius Slayton with 22 points, which would have been enough to win me the week. And maybe even the highest score, which would have gotten me $140. Those two really just didn't do it. I didn't like the matchups on paper. Darius Slayton being a number 2 receiver against a tough Pittsburgh team, it just didn't look right to me. And I was expecting Drew Brees to go off against the Bucs at home, where he's really, really dominant against a lackluster Tampa Bay defense. But the Tampa Bay defense looks like it has improved. Hockenson also dropped 12 points, but Mark Andrews dropped 17. I could have put him into a flex role, but against the Bears, I don't know. Hockenson looks to be a pretty strong breakout player this year, coming back from an injury. I hope he does, because having him on my bench, either in a flex role or as a backup for Mark Andrews, is going to be really, really important for me going into the season, going into week 2 especially. Onto the PPR team. So the PPR team underwhelmed as well, falling way, way short of expectations. 93.9 in a PPR league is just terrible. Kyler Murray, 26. Against the 49ers defense, this kid's a beast. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there for MVP if he continues to play like that against really solid teams. Austin Eckler underwhelmed against Cincy at 9.7. Joe Mixon underwhelmed 6.1. Michael Thomas, Michael Thomas 4.7 against the Bucks. Mike Thomas 4.7. He's out for a few weeks with a high ankle sprain. Not good for my team. DJ Moore 9.4 in the PPR league. Evan Ingram 2.9 against Pittsburgh, which I was kind of expecting. I should have started Font in hindsight, but I just didn't know what to expect from Font, so I started Ingram 2.9, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire 19.8 points, really balled out. For me, it's kind of tough to go between MVP for those two. I'll probably give it to Kyler because he played a tougher team in the 49ers. Defense, the Eagles, 6 points, underwhelming, like I said. Chris Boswell, 9 points from a kicker all day long. I will take it. Noticeable points on the bench. I left Danny Dimes. I left Danny Dimes on the bench. He dropped 17 points. Kyler did better anyways, no big deal. But the big one was no Font. I believe he dropped 17 or 18, and that would have been much appreciated right there. Still would have lost the week because I faced the number one seed with Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey, but it would have been a better showing. I'm supposed to be like the third best team ranked right now, and that was not a third best team showing, as you can see. This league, I believe I'm fourth on the rankings as is. This is a 12-team league, which is why it's a little bit thinner compared to this roster. This roster could be really good. This is a 10-team. But week 1, you're not going to win or lose the championship in week 1. But I was expecting to at least win one league. I was expecting to win this league. This league, I wasn't so sure. But this one, I thought I was going to win. I was projected to win. But projections don't mean anything. It's just on paper. The game is not played on paper. That's going to do it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment if you guys enjoy stuff like this. If you want me to do more fantasy stuff. My hot takes for the week, for example. I got a pretty good one for DJ Moore going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I believe. I got a pretty good hot take right there. If you guys are interested in stuff like that, drop a comment. Like I said, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.